Payroll data entry for Theta Electric. As our electricians working in the field work, they clock in and out of jobs by texting a Google Voice phone number. This information needs to be entered into our database program. There are approximately 17 steps to complete entering the data in the FileMaker, and I'll go through each one of them so that you understand how to do it and what exactly the written information is talking about. Step number 1 says open Google Voice. What you'll do is go to your web browser. You'll go to google.com/voice. And if you're not logged in, you'll have to put in your email, which is in the written instructions, contracttime@thetaelectric.com, and the password. Click sign in, and then you'll see the entries. These are all text messages. You'll have the person that texted, the date, the time, and then each text message in that group. And you'll see that each text message is time-stamped. Sometimes you'll see a blue line that says 5 more messages. If you click on this, you'll see that there's actually more text messages than what was showing. And anytime you see that, when you're working on entering this data, you'll need all of the data in order to enter it. So step 1 is complete. We have Google Voice open. Now we're going to open FileMaker. Go to the FileMaker program, click on Theta, and then you'll type in your name and password. It helps to have 2 screens so that you can see both screens while you're working. I like to put them side by side. What you'll mainly be using here is the contract clock in out. This button is for contract work. This button is for service work. Contract work is all we'll be doing today. Step 2 is complete. Step 3. Go to the end of Google Voice history to handle the oldest payroll text first and come forward to the most recent. What that's showing you is basically you're going to go to the end. You can go to next page, or you can click over, and you can see this says 21 of 30, so we have one more page. Now we're at 31 and 32. This is the last entry. Okay. We see the 5 more messages, so we'll click on that to see all of the entries. And step 3 is complete. What I'll show you here is it says in step 3, enter the information for that group of text messages for that employee, then check the checkbox and archive it. What that is if you check this box here, notice there's nothing up here that says archive. But once I check it, there's a button that says archive, and then this text message will disappear. It is simply moved from the inbox and it's archived, but you can still find it here in the text. We have 21 texts open in current history, and we have a total of 187 groupings. Each one of this is a number here of the 187. So the first one, I'll uncheck this so we can handle it, is Sam. Now I'm also sending you the information on what I gave the electricians in order to enter this information. So let me show that to you now. They were given a policy that says this: electrician timesheet entries. Effective immediately, all electricians must be given the 8-digit work order number in the format. You have 4 numbers, dash, second 4 numbers for the job they are doing. Service jobs begin with a 1, example 1233-8938. Contract jobs begin with a 6, example 6069-8910. To clock in and out, use the following phone numbers. And the format of the text needs to be as follows. Here's the example here. They put the 8-digit work order number. They put job or travel or material. These are the three ways that they'll clock in. They're either picking up materials, they're traveling to the job, or they're on the job. Note, you do not need to put the time as the text will be time-stamped. You don't need to clock out for material or travel if you're at the same time clocking in. Seeing the clock in, it is understood that you clocked out. So here's the example. They clock in to go to a store and get materials, and they put material in. So I know they're clocking in. Second line, I know they're done with getting materials and they're traveling. Third line, I know that they're on the job. This line here, job out. They finished for the day. When you clock out of the contract job for the day, give the job total billable hours produced and the target line items completed. So you can see here after they've told us they've clocked out, they have 5.4 BH as billable hours, and then this 1 ABD, 3 A through F, 4 CD. These are line items on a job target form, and each line item is a particular task, and this is all of the tasks that they've completed, adding up to 5.4 billable hours. If you're splitting the line item with someone else, then after the hours, put split with Rick as an example, or the name of the person you worked with. Put your time. So if you work with someone, split the time in half, or whatever is fair between the two of you. Examples for that is work order number, job out, 2.7 billable hours, 1 ABD, 3 A through F, 4 CD, split with Ed. Job out, 2.7 billable hours, 1 ABD, 3 A through F, 4 CD, split with Brandon. So I can see here that these were the billable hours that were completed. This is the time that adds up to, and the time was split with Ed. And this time was split with Brandon. And then the rest of this is service, which you don't need to know that for right now. If you come to that, you can come back and refer to it. So I'm going to close out of this. We're going to go through each one of these. So now that you know the format that they were supposed to be following, the rule is if you don't follow the format, we can't enter your payroll. So if you find something is confusing or you don't understand, then skip it and go to the next one, because I'd rather you get through as much as you can and save the ones that you don't understand for me, and I'll handle them, or someone else at the company will handle them. So let's go to the bottom here and work our way up. We can see that this grouping could all be 514, or it could actually be multiple days. When you're entering payroll each day, you'll normally only have one day of text messages. When text messages are not entered daily and archived, then you could have multiple days. So let's just take a look at the big picture here. So this person says he clocks in at the office at 8 o'clock. At 8:45, he was traveling to get materials. He gives us a 4-digit work order number, which is incorrect. He clocked in at 9:15, clocked out at 12, clocked in at 12:15, clocked out at 4:20, and then it says clocked in at 9 a.m. So I can tell here that something's odd. I think he's backtracking here and giving us information from earlier. So I would just tell you right now that this is pretty confusing. He's not giving us an 8-digit work order number. It doesn't really make much sense to me, so let's skip that one. And you can email me a report if you'd like and let me know anything that I need to know. But when I see this still on the Google Voice, I know that it was skipped over. So let's go to the next one and see if they've followed the format and we can get something done here. So the next one says Ed Simon, 514. He has an 8-digit work order number, and he wrote down the time, 8 to 8:30, who's at the office. Okay, so let's handle that first. We're going to come over here and go contract clock in out. This is step number 4. And what we're going to do is look for office electricians. All of these text messages will be from the electricians. So we have office electricians, select, and we're working with Ed Simon data. So we'll find it. It's Edward Simon. There it is. And the date is 5/14. If it was the same day, if today was the 23rd, I wouldn't even need to hit the date, which makes it a little easier when this is entered daily. Okay, so we have the date, and we see something pops up here. 5/20. Okay, well that's not 5/14. What this is showing you, and when you put in a date, it shows you all of the records from that date forward. So I can see here someone's already entered a record from 5/20. The record that we're working on, the information we're working on, is on 5/14. Ed Simon was at the office from 8 to 8:30. I don't see any other records, so I know it is needed. I'm going to hit clock in. Okay. And then, now this is, just to back up here for 1 second. So step 4 was when we clicked on the contract clock in out button. Step 5, we select the electrician. We got that done. Step 6 was the date worked. And now step 7 is the clock in. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is it put the current time, 11:32 p.m. So I'm going to click on that, and the time we have here is 8 to 8:30 is what he's telling us. This is entered in military time. I'm going to put 8 to 8:30. And is there any other office information here? No. Okay, good. So that's all we need for that. That is complete. We'll go back. Now, one of the things you'll notice, and I'll go back over there so I can show you, and re-choose Edward Simon, re-choose the day. Because we're doing office, you'll see the hours type says office. That's automatic. When you clock in, because the job type here is office, it automatically puts it for you. That's what we want. That's normal. 8 to 8:30, you'll notice the hours worked. It adds it up here. It's 0.5 hours, half an hour. And you'll notice that we completed 10. We changed the time start. We completed 11. We entered the time stop. All of these headings up here actually are job target items is this box. This is this field. Notes is this bottom field. Job target form hours is this field. This is actually a button, and I'll tell you about that shortly. Hours type is here. Time start, time stop, travel. This is where lunch, if there was a half an hour or hour for lunch, it would go here. This is the hours worked, and then this is the billable hours, which for office it's hourly. You won't see anything for billable hours. When we get into the contract work orders, you'll see billable hours on those. Now I'll hit back. We have nothing to do with job target items or notes because this is office and it's just pretty standard daily time. Technicians will start at the office a lot of times. Okay, so now that we've completed Ed Simon, we finished with all the entries. We're on step number 16. And we're going to click the box and archive it. So now that item's gone. Now I'm skipping Sam, so I'll go to the previous page, go to the bottom, and work my way up.